Hello and welcome to the part 2 of how to make 1 million Solari in a day in Hagger Basin. This is going to be one of the fastest, safest methods that also allows you to get filthy rich, but also nearly end up with every single material that you get from Hagger Basin, bar 3. So if you spend all day doing this method and then converting it to endgame materials, you can pretty much just stay in Hagger Basin, never even go to deep desert, and get everything you could possibly want to build. The marketplace is absolutely booming at the moment. You can nearly find every single item at generally quite reasonable prices now. If you haven't watched the first video, definitely check that out. That will definitely help you understand the route. And just to be clear, we're assuming you've seen the first video as a prerequisite to watching this video. Otherwise, some of this won't make sense. It's much better to watch the first one, then come watch this. However, in this video, we will show the full route, me running it, and as well as go through lots of useful and good information. Please make sure you use the chapters as I do go into a bit of detail, so skip to the parts you need. So I'll show you what all the components are worth at full value, so full durability, because that gives us a good, clear understanding of what to target for these runs. I even threw in the Radiation Mark 6 suit just for a little bit of fun, but you can see how the Radiation Suit Mark 5, the thruster, storage are some of the highest value items we want to be targeting. But if you're not sure what we're talking about, we're referring to selling items at Crossroads Station after we've repaired them, because in this quick example, you can see the before repair and after repair, the profit increase is 82.79%. And this includes going and repairing the vehicle components. But again, highly recommend go watch the first video. We go through this in a lot more detail, but ultimately this is just a really good strategy to boost your profit for each run. But again, we really want to focus on radiation suits, Mark 5 components, laser cutter, thruster, scanner, buggy storage, radiation suits. Then going down on the profit scale, we want to try avoid the standby components, make 4 buggy components where possible. And most definitely don't pick up any of the wings for any of the ornithopters or try to skip the buggy treads, bike treads. But this is just a rough guide. We can simplify it by just focusing on Mark 5 components, excluding wings and treads. And why is this important? It is important because we need to do a lot of micromanaging of our inventory. So when we're trying to decide on the quick fly what we need to throw out, it's really important we understand what we're aiming for, because you can easily throw away thousands of Solari. Even I did it in my run, being rushed and a little bit under the pump. It's very easy to make mistakes, but at least we know what we're targeting. It makes the run easier because we're just picking up all the various components, then just focusing on buggy, assault, scout thopter, components, Mark 5 primarily. And then we're just doing this run, gathering all the material, bing, bada, boom, we're a millionaire now. But let's jump the gun, and I'm going to show you roughly how much we can convert this run into the endgame materials, just to give you a really good, clear picture to see if it's worthwhile for you. So here we are at the end of the run that you see in this video. We're going to go through endgame materials. Quickly, here are all the items that we got from this run, just so you have some sort of reference, but we got good amount of materials, good amount of Solari, and we did quite well overall. One thing that is worth noting is that at this point, I've done this run so many times, I'm pretty much just dropping majority of the schematics because they don't really have any value to me anymore. But I do want to highlight a few that you should hold on to. Definitely, if you get the towel cutter array on this run, keep it. That can sell upwards of 100,000 Solari, pretty much in most cases. Your compact to make 4 generally retains its value, 5 to 10K, and then pretty much everything else is anywhere from 1,000 to 5K value. But a little bit rarer are the Iron Watch, the Abelard's Rapture, and a few of the armor sets components can be kind of good to hang on to because getting the whole set can take a freaking long time. And if you're not lucky with the drops, it can take a very long time. So for me, for instance, the Myra Queb Steel Suit boots would not drop. I ended up buying them even after running the few locations that dropped this over and over again. But ultimately, schematics are going to be worthless over time. Only time they'll pick up in value is if they change the drop rates or we get a new influx of players. So to clarify, I'm not really making much money or using the reselling of unique items as a part of this strategy anymore. You can still try flip a lot of these for 1,000 to 5,000 Solari. So I've gone ahead and repaired everything. Critical to do that. But what I like to do is I'll do a fair few runs and then spend about 10 minutes just going through and repairing everything. Now we have about 57,000 Solari. And if we go to the Crossroads trade post, we will be able to flip all these components. Now we've gone through the pricing in a lot of detail. Now I definitely made some mistakes on some of the things I kept in the heat of the moment. I should have thrown out a lot of other stuff and kept certain things, but at least this will still give you a good idea. We got very lucky, however, with getting 2 sets of Mark IV radiation suits. You generally get one Mark IV or Mark V. Once we sell all those items, we get an extra 18,142. Now that can fluctuate really anywhere from about 15 to sometimes even 30K. And since we're running this every 45 minutes, it really does add up. It's also worth noting that generally you would have your inventory on, which would extend all these profits substantially as you can carry an extra 10 items. Typically, you just want to focus on the vehicle parts, again, increasing this generally over anywhere from 70 to 100K just in Solari from selling all the items at a vendor. Now, the other thing is, if we did want to sell some of the items that we've been picking up, here we can get a rough estimate of the average price that they're selling at. So if you do take the time and you've already got stacks of items or resources, you can consider selling these on a marketplace. And if you spend a whole day doing this, you're going to end up with a stack. So that is another really cool option, adding even more value to farming Hagger Basin. Now, on the other side, you can try flip some of the components from vehicles on the marketplace. However, I don't really know how well these sell. Generally, you probably have to sell them at very cheap prices, which in some cases, like this booster, I'm pretty sure we could buy this booster and flip it for more than 1,000, because you could sell this from a vendor possibly for more. But in most cases, yeah, I don't think you get a lot of value from selling the components from vehicles on the store. Now, at the moment, you can get some incredibly good prices on all the endgame materials. So for instance, if we take what we just farmed in that 45 minutes, including the repair time, and we want to buy some endgame materials, look at this, we could buy 21 plastanium ingots just from that run. But think about it, you do this for 4 or 5 hours, and then you're looking at something much more reasonable. Not only that, you could be buying spice, which we're roughly looking at about 16 spice melange from this run. Depending on your luck, you could get a bit higher. But when you compare that to, say, trying to manually farm the spice melange in Hagger Basin at least, you'd probably be getting a little bit more spice melange, but you don't get all the other items. You're only getting one resource. This way, we're actually getting potentially any kind of resource we want, because we can use this cash to then buy the bits and pieces we need. That's why I think it's a potent strategy. But there are some other interesting strategies that we're going to take a look at in the upcoming videos that may be even better and more potent than this for just getting Solari quickly. Okay, now we'll get to starting the run. Now, first thing we always want to do is just repair the vehicle, make sure it's all good. Now, I've upgraded my ornithopter to the Mark VI finally. Mostly thank you to the exploits that are happening right now and how it is driving the prices down of so many different things on the marketplace. In any case, we're just going to be repairing the vehicle, make sure it is all in tip shape. Now, I'm not going to be running the inventory for this video just to make it a little bit quicker. And plus, it's just a lot of fun using the thrusters now that they've changed the ornithopters. Now, the other things that I've changed since the last video is I'm just using the improvised cutter. We want to ensure we get the least amount of yield from when we have to cut up the rocks or scrap metal. If you have a very high tier cutter, you end up getting bogged down, and just an extra step we can remove by having a low tier cutter. We're also going to make sure that we've got a full suspensor that's ready to go. But some things you could consider or experiment with: the advanced suspensor jacket, stim leggings for the excellent dash stamina cost reduction, and same again for the syndicate chest piece, which is just a brilliant piece of armor regardless. You do end up needing dash quite a bit, so it does make sense to run a good efficiency between decent protection of armor against darts, so you can cop the darts, and then if you do take some blade damage, it's not going to be too bad. But something to consider in your setup, but just wanted to point that out. Running a good mix between good dash reduction and medium to high armor is going to be a really good sweet spot. So we repaired the vehicle, we've got all our gear set up, Thopter's been refueled, so we're pretty much ready to go. So this is pretty much what I'll take with me. I don't take any water anymore because I will sip on water cisterns as I go along, as you'll find a couple at a few of the different bases. So it just further minimizes and maximizes what we can carry. Now, with not having the inventory, we will make less money, but we can hit more locations, technically, perhaps 1 or 2 extra locations, which could kind of be interesting to add in Edge of Acheron. But then we're sort of stepping into the realms of the other popular run of Shoal. So for this, we'll probably just stick to the run we've been doing with a few little changes. So we'll go ahead and head over to the location. But let's go through the actual run and how I'm doing it. And I'll try to talk through it a bit as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting, to give you some context of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So the first location we're going to start with is Kaider's Shadow. And you're probably familiar with this place, but it is huge. This has one of the highest density of all chests. This probably gives you the most amount of money, I think, than nearly any of the other points of interest. So that's the starting point, and then we'll head over to the next location. So we're coming from here and we're going all the way over to Peter's Net. This location here in Jabal Efred Al-Ghab. This is a nice quick stop that has 2 rares, 1 ultra, and 2 basic. And just so you know what it looks like, this is a base here. It is nighttime, unfortunately, but just to give you an idea visually, we'll move on to the next place. Next location is Southern Comms. We're only getting the ultra rare chest and 1 other chest in this location just because it's a really quick pit stop. If you're wondering what Southern Comms looks like, this is it here nested into the cliff. So next location we're heading to is up very high in the jaws of the lion in Fangs of Maraqueb, and there's an ultra rare and a basic chest up here. And just so you know the location visually, here it is. And on the map, you're sitting right there. From here, we're simply just jumping down to the next location, and that is to Sentinel City. And for all the chests you want to pick up, roughly about 9 to 12 basics, 1 ultra, and there's 2 rares. So from the Sentinel City, we've exited out the Eastern Shield side, and then we're heading to the wreck of Limos. And this is the area, it's a shipwreck PvP, so you do have to be a bit more careful. And remember, if someone's already looted this area, you won't be able to pick it up. And that's why this strategy is best suited when it's off-peak time. There's also another bug that happens quite a lot in this game where you can't see the door or things don't seem to render in, and then this happens. And there's nothing you can do about it. When this happens, you either have to go through the other entry or just ignore this area. One of the bugs in this game, very frustrating. This can happen with rocks as well in another location. From the wreck of Limos, we're heading to Shradrath Tomb, which has a rare and a few basics. It is a little bit hidden, but a real good straight shot from the location we've just come from. Then from the tomb, we're heading to Keith's Triumph, which is very close by. This is what it looks like. We're only grabbing a few chests from here, but it's a nice quick pickup. From Keith's Triumph, we're then heading to another PvP area, the wreck of Electo. So the usual disclaimer is there, and that is up in the Western Shield wall. Can't miss it. It always displays on the map. Just in case you're wondering, this is what the location looks like. Been recently cleared out, so there's a chance the chest isn't here. So that's one of the downsides. And here we're only grabbing 2 basics, 1 rare and 1 ultra rare, just so we can get in and out very quickly. From Wreck of Electo, we're going to the Aegis, which is an Atreides base, and we're going to be grabbing 1 ultra, 1 rare, and 3 basics. Then from the Aegis, we're going to shoot across to the next Atreides base, do the exact same thing again, picking up all the same chests as they're in the exact identical spot. In the Passage of Artemis, the Atreides base, we're heading over to Misa Overwatch, where we're picking up a rare and 2 basics. And this is what the location looks like here. It's nested up high in the mountain, the rock face. Then from Misa Overwatch, we're heading straight to Terazra Vault, which has a very nice straight shot from where we are. This is the entry, a little bit hidden. This is one of the few locations with an ultra rare chest that doesn't have uniques. Also has a rare and a couple basics from memory. It is worth noting this is one of the areas where you can get the bug where the rocks will be invisible and you won't be able to get through this area. If that happens, there's nothing really you can do. You just have to come back a bit later. But here it is, the ultra chest that doesn't drop any uniques at the moment. One of the few locations where it's really handy to use the skill to get behind them. Next location is the depot, and just for a quick visual reference, this is it. Here we're grabbing 3 basics and 1 rare. From the depot, we're heading straight for Stone Step Village. Very nice straight clean shot from where we are. We're only grabbing an ultra rare from this location, but it has a very quick turnaround. From Stone Step Village, we are heading to Batai Grotti's Cave. It's another straight shot, so it's very quick and clean. And just showing you how to get there, just in case you haven't been here before, it is down this little hole here, and I'll put it myself on the map, but just at the bottom of this rock face here in Odam, in Owadam. Here we're picking up a small ultra rare, a rare, a couple basics, and technically some primitives. Continuing along, we are going from Batai Grotto, the corner, to the bottom left-hand corner of Kala Cavern. And this is the spot right here. And this is where I land, just to make it very quick. We can just land right here. Here we're picking up 1 ultra, 1 rare, and it's about 4 basics. Then from there, we're heading to the Beast Claw, which is an Atreides base, a PvP zone. So this can be a little bit hit and miss. And just for a visual reference, this is what it looks like. Here we're grabbing the ultra rare, the rare, and 4 basics. Now the next one isn't as commonly known, but it's on top of the tower in Misa Terrell, where we normally go under to grab a unique. But here it's actually on a corpse at the top. So you sort of land in on the top, jumping down, and you'll find a corpse with a few items, but generally up to 600 coin. And then from there, we are just diving down and grabbing the stuff from Misa Terrell, the iconic crazy electrified worm. And in total, it's like 1 ultra, 1 rare, and about 4 basics. And then from here, depending how my time's going, I may hit the Iron Watch, which has quite a good amount of chests, including a rare and 4 basics. So that's the run. It's about 21 stops or locations, and this can be done pretty much within the 30 to 35 minute window on a really nice clean run. By the time you get back to base, drop things off, you pretty much can then just start this again. Farming this all day easily will yield 1 million Solari, and you're going to have so much stuff to use in production. This method and others like it are potentially some of the best, cleanest, safest way to make you super rich without even leaving Hagger Basin. Now there's plenty different routes you could take, but at least this is the framework. You get a clear understanding of how it works and that it works quite well. Probably went into way too much detail. But here we go. Here is my run. The few minor changes, but this will give you a good idea of how I'm doing it, just in case you're interested. So thanks very much for watching. I'll leave you now with my run.
They're here! I need reinforcements! Who's that? Huh? Enemy sighted! Who's there?
Someone here. I've got your back.
There's someone here.
Come on.
Water is mine. Who are you?
Down the hand.
your knees, scum. Eyes on the host. I need reinforcements. Who goes there? Yeah, get there. They're coming. There's someone here.
Two arms.
Let's get the bastard. Die. There's someone here.
Interloper.
Where's my backup?
Shield on.
Someone's here.
Push back the enemy. They're here. I see someone. I require it.